Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to another 7 Deadly Sins video. Today we're going to be going over how to fight the Gray Demon, mainly because he has a little bit more intricacy to him than the Red Demon does. The Red Demon's actually a lot easier because you can actually stun him and use crowd control sort of cards to kind of make it to where he can't hit you as much, and you can really just end up stun locking him almost. But the Gray Demon is completely different than that. So he is a blue attribute, which is speed. So obviously you're going to want to use green attribute or HP type units, and try to stay away from red units as much as possible, so that way you're not getting more damage dealt to you just for type advantage. The big deal though is that he is debuff immune, so he can't do, you can't get rid of his, you can't stun him or petrify him or freeze him or any of that stuff. You cannot dissolve his ultimate orbs, so he's going to build up his ult gauge regardless. So obviously you want to try to get him, take him down as quickly as possible with high damage dealing people. But this is the big thing. So he has flight mode, and this is the reason why the fight is so difficult. Basically what happens is, you can see they actually have a cool little diagram right here that shows that's kind of helpful. In hard or extreme phase 1, he starts the battle in a flight state and switches between ground and flight states every 3 turns. So when you very first start, he's going to be flying up in the air, which means you can only hit him with ranged attacks. You cannot hit him with melee attacks or anything like that. So if you're using, for example, Escanor has 2 cards. One of them is Cruel Sun, where he throws the fireball at him, and the other one is Victory Strike or something like that, where he brings the hammer or the axe down on them. The Victory Strike is a melee card. Cruel Sun is a ranged card, so you can't hit him with melee cards at the beginning of the fight because he's going to be flying up in the air. So that's kind of a big deal, because a lot of the times you're going to be relying on, I would rely on Escanor or Green Jericho to kind of nuke the demon and get him down as quick as possible. But you can't really do that in the very beginning of the fight. You kind of just want to build up your cards by using your ranged stuff and kind of get your other heavy hitting melee cards up in stars, so that way whenever he does exit flight mode and goes into the ground stance, you're going to be able to hit him as much as possible within those 3 turns to really take out his phase. The only time he has 2 phases is in extreme. He's only going to have 1 health bar that you have to deplete in normal and hard mode, but in extreme he actually does have a 2nd health bar. And in normal phase, so if you're playing normal mode, which is the lowest difficulty, he's actually going to have this green bar, and it's going to be, instead of him switching between ground mode and flight mode every 3 turns, it's basically just you're going to have to deplete this bar by hitting him as much as possible with your range skills. And once this bar is all the way depleted, he's going to be stunned for a turn, and that's going to let you hit him as much as you can with your melee skills, so that way you can get as much damage off as possible. It's also nice because he's actually stunned for the turn, and he's not going to be able to hit you during that, so it's very helpful for extreme phase 2 because he hits a lot harder, obviously. So yeah, that's just something that you have to worry about in extreme, or if you're doing regular, normal difficulty. I actually prefer it a lot that way. Instead of having to wait the full 3 turns, you can just kind of hit him as much as possible with your range skills, and then just start barraging him with melee skills. This is the big thing, though, is that you want to use Green King. I actually do not have Green King. It's saying that you can use Green Meliodas down here as a counter, if you don't have Green King, which is hilarious because I did not re-roll for Green Captain Meliodas when I first started the game. So I actually just use the units that I have available to me when I do this demon. So we're gonna look at my team in just a second, but King is really good because it says right here, as the Grey Demon takes additional damage from HP attributes, which he is one, he is also a fairy, and the Shatter effect, which I'm not positive on what that is, but he apparently has all 3 of those things. King is obviously the most ideal for the fight, and I'm pretty sure he's the strong unit for the fight as well. So how in the Red Demon Bond is actually the strong character to fight against the demon. King is actually the one preferred for this fight. So he's obviously optimal. Like, you want to use him as much as possible for this fight, but I don't have him. I'll try to buy him from the coin shop at some point if he goes on sale, because I don't think he's a regular coin shop unit. He's like one of the discount units that like pops up in rotation every so often. This Elizabeth is really good because it says right here her unique fills ultimate move gauge with 2 orbs at the start of the battle, which is really nice to get your ults and stuff faster. It actually plays really nice. It syncs really well with Green King, but then again, I don't have him. And then you've got some nice like buff units right here, so you can kind of like buff your characters and, you know, increase their attack and everything to make the fight go a little bit smoother. The other thing that it says to use is Cain, and I'm actually not positive on why it says to use Cain, so let's... I mean, here's some recommended stuff, but that's pretty much all it is for the guy. That's pretty much all the information you're going to need. So let's hop over to the game. And here we are. So, let me look at Cain really quick. I'm assuming it's probably his passive skill that makes him so good. Where is he? Is he an SR? He is an SR. Thought he was a rare. Increases all allies' attack-related stats by 10% in Deathmatch. So that's definitely... pretty nice. So he's pretty much just a free attack buff, which you can actually eat food to increase your attack stat by 10%. So you could stack that with King or Cain and actually, you know, do a little bit more damage that way. I don't really use my team like that, but then again, I don't have the best units for it. But he's really not that bad. If you're in like in-game state, you can do extreme with like a pretty decent teammate. The team that I use, though, as you can see right here, King is the strong character. Even though it is Blue King and it's not Green King, he's still pretty good because he has the heal. You cannot Petrify, but it's a ranged attack, so you can at least do a little bit of damage here and there. Escanor is really nice just because he has the ranged attack, and he has a really nice melee attack for when he's not in flight stance. And so yeah, he's pretty good. He's really heavy hitter, so it's really nice to stack up on his melee attack and then just kind of pelt him with it as soon as you can. Gother is pretty much a go-to staple for a lot of stuff just because you can rank up cards, which is really nice. And then I have her on the end as kind of like the buffer because she, if you don't know, this red Elizabeth, if it'll let me, can I go to her? It won't let me click on her. Her passive ability is at the beginning of each turn. If your characters have taken damage, they'll regen 10% of damage taken for that turn. So it's just kind of like a nice little buff there to kind of keep you alive a little bit longer. So oh, we don't want to do that. Let's invite some people, and then I'm going to go through and try to fight this guy a little bit. And we'll come back whenever there's anything that kind of needs to be said, or I'll just kind of show you guys how the fight sort of works. But yeah, that's pretty much all of the informational side of everything. Okay, so here we go. This is actually pretty good because my teammate actually has the green Elizabeth, which is really nice. So she's going to help with the ult gauge sort of situation, and she's going to be nice to heal everybody's team a little bit. He's got green Merlin, which is going to be kind of nice because she can put Prism on everybody. So as you know, we're going to start off by just trying to use some ranged cards, and we're going to try to build up our other stuff. I don't know why he did that, but not sure. So yeah, you can see he takes pretty good damage. Even in the first phase, he actually takes a lot more damage, I've noticed, than the other phases. I would imagine that he would probably get buffed on the second phase and get a lot more defense stats and stuff like that. But I would actually have to look at his little card, which I should have done before we started this. But this is pretty simple. It's not really all that bad. You don't have to worry about a lot of the stuff in this. So we're gonna do this, throw that out. He's going to move a card a little bit. Okay. Alright, he's putting Prism on us, which is kind of nice because that's going to help us deflect a little bit of damage. Obviously, Gother isn't really great with his attack card because obviously it's not going to do a whole lot of damage to him because he's got one type disadvantage, and it's really not that crazy of a move to begin with. And and he can't attack seal on him because he's immune to that sort of thing. But yeah, we're basically just using him for invasion arrow. So we can go ahead and start buffing up these cards right here, because I don't think it's the next turn, but it's the one after this one, that he will come down from flight mode, so we can start pelting him with melee attacks. Okay, so it was this turn. So you can see he's now on the ground, and now we can actually just start pelting him with everything we've got. That move actually kind of hurts a lot. This is an AoE. We're going to need to try to heal here, so I'm going to bite the bullet here, and we're going to heal, and then try to hit him with a nice Escanor card. He's going to heal a little bit too with Elizabeth, which is kind of nice. So we should be pretty good as far as keeping the team alive. And we also have a couple of nice attack cards with King, so that way we can do a little bit of damage whenever he gets back into flight mode. Okay, cool. So everybody's pretty much back up. You can see that's a really good amount of damage done with Escanor. I really hate how a lot of people don't have their ultimate animation skip on, so you have to sit through some of that sometimes, but oh well. So I'm gonna try. I'm not worried about Gother's card. I'm probably gonna use it. That actually deranked my King a little bit, which isn't that big of a deal. I'm not really worried about that. We'll get rid of some of this, and then I think we'll be fine. I think we'll do enough damage right here to get rid of him. If not, I'm going to feel dumb for using that Gother card instead of an actual attack. Yeah, we're fine. We're good. This Escanor hit should take him out. Goodbye. Okay, so there's first phase down. And we actually still have Escanor's ultimate, which is nice because Escanor's ultimate does hit through the flight mode thing. So I can use it pretty much straight away, and we should end up taking down most of his green bar to get it to where we can start using melee attacks again. So we're going to throw that out. We're going to use this on Escanor, so that'll turn this into a 3. And then we'll throw that out just because he's in flight mode. And then while he's on the ground stunned, the next turn, because he's even using his Escanor ult right here, you can see, we'll just pelt him with that. So here we go. Okay, so you've seen it literally took the whole green bar out first thing. Not a big deal. There's that. He actually doesn't really deal that much damage, but it's whatever. Blue King is not ideal for this, but he's pretty much all I have, like, to kind of fill the space that still has ranged attacks and stuff. So there we go. So there it is. There's where he goes on the ground. So we're gonna knock him out with a bunch of these moves that we can. We'll probably just use that. I'm thinking, I don't know if we'll kill here actually, but you can see it's pretty straightforward. It's not that bad of a fight. There's pretty good damage. I don't think we're killing right here, because King's ult's not gonna do nearly enough with him being a blue unit, and so is the demon. If it was Green King, I would maybe think so, but probably not. So yeah, he should be back above, or like he'll be flying around again after this. So we just pretty much rinse and repeat at that point. Oh, actually we can use Escanor's ult because we've already built it back up. And depending on how much damage it does, we may be able to kill this turn. Not positive, because he has Merlin's ult too. That's a lot of damage. Okay, let's see if we can kill this turn. So we're just gonna throw everything out that we can and hope for the best. Come on, buddy, you got it. There we go. He's doing a ranged attack too, so this should be secured. I would think this is dead. Alright, so his green bar's not all the way down, but it's not like it really matters. There we go. So that was extreme. Not too bad. And it's a lot easier on normal and hard mode because obviously he's only going to have one life, like one health bar that you're going to have to worry about. So, yeah, pretty straightforward. And you get the Grey Demon Wings for limit breaking and stuff like that that you're obviously going to need to get your characters up higher for the late game. So, pretty straightforward. If you want to, I'm going to leave the link to that little article that we were looking at from the Netmarble forums, just like I did with the Red Demon. I'll leave it in the description so you guys can look through that if you need to. It'll have there's a little bit more information there that I didn't go over, but it basically is just saying, like, you know, use Green King. But if you don't have Green King, there's other options. You can see I didn't have either Green King or Green Elizabeth right there, and we still did super well. So that's pretty much it. Hopefully that was you know, informative and helped you guys out. But that's going to be it for today. So thank you so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe because I'm going to be doing a lot more Grand Cross content in the future. And I will see you guys in the next video. So, yeah. See you then.